Yo, what's up, Johnny? Hey, what's up, Lone Wolf? And Nim, hey, now we got a party. How's it going? Are we in the same time zone, Nim? You caffeinated in the evening? What stuff you working on? And yes, same question for everybody in the chat. How are you? That's interesting. So Lone Wolf is doing the draw 1,000 heads challenge. Yeah, I'm interested in that. That's got to have some incredible effects on your drawing. I've never done that as a focused effort, but I feel like I probably in the job I have, I've probably drawn a few thousand heads in my time, let me tell you. Especially because, so yeah, I guess I could say that it does work because I think I'm living that out, honestly. Because I get a lot of gigs where people want me to draw faces and stuff. That's like something that my agent used to push for me, was that I was good with facial expressions. case in point, having a good time with this design for Merlin. So yeah, I would say drawing a lot of faces and heads and all that it's among the more important things to learn how to draw, in my opinion, or to improve one's ability to draw. And then King Arthur, you know, this comic, which is nearly done, by the way. Been working on it here and there, and this comic was a departure for me because there's actually not that many faces in this first issue. It's like Arthur's face and then a bunch of armored knights, and then when Arthur puts on his helmet, it's like mostly armored knights. So it was a bit of a challenge to keep that flow of, you know, that feeling that it was that it was comfortable, you know. You didn't miss anything, actually, Nim. I just I had to block out my screen. Had to black it out because I was loading in an image and I didn't want it to be. I didn't want to NDA myself because I got some client work on there. Oh, that's cool. I'm so glad you like the design for Merlin. It's like my favorite choice that I've made. The initial design, you'd be interested in seeing it. It's like, it's the same hair kind of and the same robe. Everything's the same except he doesn't nearly have the same face. Like, he doesn't have a very friendly face. It was like I was aiming for a kind of creepy, like mysterious pagan, and I realized it's really not what he needs to be in this. I mean, there is aspects of that. He is that, but he's also like, you need kind of a warm, lovable character at the same time. And making the change at the last minute that I did, it's like one of those things I love about telling stories and comics in particular is like, especially when I'm writing and drawing my own stuff, there's all these things that happen where like I'll be dead set on an idea and then I'll realize that there's something better like as I'm finishing the book, and then I'll quickly make a change, and then suddenly it's like this magic happens where it becomes something else, and then it's better than I was even planning, or it's more satisfying than I was thinking, and I just love that feeling. It's such a great rush. Like when I landed on that design for Merlin, and it was right before you reveal his face in the comic, and it was like some part of me knew something wasn't right. I was like, this isn't going to be so impactful because he just kind of is like another, in this landscape of all these creepy creatures and stuff. He's just like not. I wanted people to like him right away, even if you don't understand him, because he's so odd and he's kind of a madman, and and this version of him is just, yeah. Lone Wolf. I can't. Yeah. I'll post the initial design on Discord, and you're gonna laugh because it's the same costume and similar hairstyle, but he just looks way creepier. Because the whole idea in the initial design was that it was actually his face was like Christopher Walken, so he had like kind of like very barely visible eyebrows and like really cold eyes. Because the whole premise was that like he's like this like lean, mysterious druid appearing among this village of like very peaceful medieval Christians who are like really scared of the old world and everything. So he was going to be like I gave him almost like a wolf-like appearance. Like he looks like lupine, and it was sort of like my answer to the versions of him I'd seen where he's sort of kind of a goofy, friendly wizard, and I wanted to do something a little more edgy. But then I was like, I'm going too far in that other direction because now he needs to feel like he could be someone who would almost become a father figure to Arthur. Because in my version of the story, Arthur and him, it's kind of a combination of the original lore and then the Disney Sword in the Stone. Where him and Arthur really bond, But yeah, I'll share it. It's funny because it's just a very different vibe. And Lone Wolf says, going to verify supporting King Arthur soon, I hope. Well, I haven't quite made this announcement anywhere, really. You guys are going to hear it first in this stream. But this is almost ready to go, this book. So I'm actually going to be... It's going to be quite a December to February time period, because the plan right now is to release... And I just arrived at this decision over the past couple of days because I wasn't sure, but now I'm getting sure. Sorry, don't mean to take a dramatic pause. I just need to yawn. Is that I'm going to be releasing Knights of Camelot Book 1 in either late December or early January as a Kickstarter. And then I'm going to do Black Marrow Book 2 very soon after, like maybe February. And man, oh man, I am so excited. You can't even imagine. I like, this has been like so much work, and I'm gonna have such a nice little series of releases. This is not as long. Black Marrow 2 is gonna be like 70 pages at least. This is gonna be like 30. Camelot is gonna be about 30 pages, which is good because I want to try a different release model. I want to try something that's not like a huge prestige comic, instead doing almost like not quite a floppy typical American comic, but something shorter, and because it's shorter, because it's not 70 pages, it's like half that length, if that even. I'm going to try to do some interesting stuff with the format, like I'm going to try to do like cool foil covers, you know, and yeah, and I can maintain that same nice page quality I had on Black Marrow, and it'll, you know, thankfully be less expensive because it's going to be cheaper overhead, so more people will have access to it. And also, I was just, you know, I was talking with my wife, and I was talking with some friends of mine who are also in comics, who are writers and artists and stuff, and they were all like, yeah, you can't, if you have something that's like this much art you've done for it, it needs to start paying for itself. Like purely on a business level, it needs to do its job. You can't do all this work and then have it just sit there for another year so you can finish Black Marrow Book 2. You gotta be... And I don't know, yeah, the whole thing started because I was at night, I was trying to sleep, and I was like, what's wrong? I was thinking about it. And I just realized, okay, I'm being way too precious. Like, I need to, like, Black Marrow did well, people like my stuff, they're excited, it seems like, and I can't have them waiting more than a year for another thing to come out. You gotta keep putting stuff out, and you gotta keep showing people that you can deliver. And I have, you know, this little fan base right now on social media, some of it from Black Marrow, probably most of it, but then a few of them who joined because they saw the King Arthur artwork, and they're like, when's that coming out? Like, I want that book. So I'm like, yeah, why am I waiting? Why am I like letting that interest grow cold? Like, that's so stupid. In fact, I probably already let it go for too long, and it's probably going to affect my sales negatively. But I'm hoping to recapture some of that enthusiasm in the next couple of months from marketing and you know, but we'll see. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to have it out there, and because it's a shorter book, the pressure, it does feel like there's going to be less pressure on it to, like, because Black Marrow needed to earn at least $5,000, and it's done overall since the Kickstarter. It's been like maybe a $10,000 thing. You know, I've earned maybe $10,000 from it. No, actually, a little more than that. The Kickstarter did like $5,000, and then I sold more subsequently. Actually, no. If you include, I don't know how much. If you include the amount of money, I don't know if I should be talking about money, but if you include the like sales from comic shops, it's probably double that. Yeah, I think I probably doubled it. I think it's like 20 something. I don't know. But just put it this way, it's not paying my bills yet. It's not paying all of them. It's doing pretty well, but it's not like I can do that full time. But so anyway, so when the Kickstarter came out, this is for those of you looking to do your own Kickstarters down the road. This is stuff you have to keep in mind. So because of all the work that went into it when it came out, and because it was a large book, it was kind of a big risk, because the amount of pressure on that book to do well is pretty huge. For me personally, it was a big strain, because it was like it needs to earn, you know, a certain amount, otherwise it's like it was not a good use of my time, you know, at least financially. Obviously, artistically, you know, that's not how you judge the worth of something, but in terms of like supporting my family and the amount of time I spend at my desk, and it needs to pay for itself. So like with a shorter comic like Knights of Camelot, if I do shorter chapters, like 30 issues, 30-page issues, like more frequently, it might take the pressure off of me to have each one do insanely well. Instead, they can earn a little bit of money each time and accrue, that fan base over time. And I did get an offer from a small publisher to put out Knights of Camelot, and I said, hold up, because I want to try doing it myself on Kickstarter first under my own label. So there you have it, guys. That's the announcement. The Knights of Camelot are making their debut. Talking to a friend about the guy who did the Black Marrow trailer back in last year, 2024. He's going to be editing a really cool announcement trailer for Knights of Camelot. And the second layer of this announcement, the second stage, is that it's going to be the first comic to be printed under my my LLC, my personal print label, Black Marrow Comics. An LLC meaning it's going to be like official name of my business, so that it's separate than just my name. For tax reasons, you should do things like that, because you don't want to end up in a situation where your family or your loved ones who rely on you financially are like suffering because everything that was under your name is also your business. So when your business suffers, you lose all the money. Making it separate is good. So it's going to be Black Marrow Comics, and I'm having someone design a logo for it. So like a graphic designer who's like, that's a specific art that it's not my field. So I'm hiring somebody to do it. A close friend who does a lot of graphic design for me. And it's going to be like a cool it's going to be basically the plan. And I was so excited when I thought of this. I was like, oh, I should do like DC Comics, like Detective Comics, because a lot of people don't know this, but DC Comics stands for Detective Comics, which was the initial Batman comic, and they just turned that in. They made that the name of their whole universe because Batman was so insanely popular. So that's what I'm going to do, Black Marrow Comics. Which won't get the same initial, because then it's BM Comics. And I bowel movement comics is not necessarily what I want to do, but maybe like an acronym that's like a BC, MRW, but it's going to be like the logo, is going to be cool. It's going to be like something like the silhouette of the character. And I like this idea that he would just be like the face of my personal little fictional universes and stuff, is just this guy, because I love Black Marrow. He did a lot for me. He's opened up a lot of doors for me just by becoming one of, he was just an idea that I had that I just chased, and I didn't even think too much about it. I just started doing it, and it was like changed my whole career, changed the trajectory of my career. So I like the idea of naming the company after him. And so everything I put out, if it's my creator-owned stuff, it's going to have the cool like Black Marrow label in the top right corner. I'm smiling just thinking about it. It's very sentimental for me. And I want that to be a mark of quality. Like if it says Black Marrow, you're getting my best, my personal best. I can't wait for you guys to see this. I know you can see a lot of the work I've done on this book, but man, it is like you're not prepared. You're not prepared. I promise. I'm going to be immodest for a second and say that when you guys see this comic in person, like the artwork, I've really grown a lot since Black Marrow 1. And there's not one page of this where I haven't been like, yes, like I've just been psyched about it, you know. And that's how I feel about Black Marrow too. Both of these books, I should say, that I've been working on at the same time. Something about the fact that I was like, when I started streaming and hanging out with you guys and forming a community, I don't know, something about it really helped me stay on my game, you know, in a really good way. And I think my art improved either because of that or alongside it or what, but oh, your birthday's in February, Nim? That's cool. Yeah, it'll be like a little birthday gift. Yeah, so that's the announcement. The announcement is that Knights of Camelot and Black Mirror are going to be coming out almost back to back. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be like the next few months are going to be nuts because I'm prepping for the release of one, and as I'm prepping for the release of one, I'm going to try to finish the other. Hopefully, they might be spread out because Black Marrow needs like at least 20 more pages, and this needs like 5. What I wanted to do, and I'm sure you guys will say yes, but I want to know is putting previews, because it's like a, you know, it's a comic universe. So like when I released this, I was thinking about putting the first 5 pages or so of Black Marrow Book 2 at the end of King Arthur as a preview. You know? To kind of always lead people into the next thing of mine. I think I should just do that from a business standpoint, because there's people who have not read Black Marrow that are going to read this and be like, maybe I'll check that one out too, you know? And vice versa. So I think I want to start doing stuff like that, but I also, the only reason that I'm a little hesitant is because people are paying for every page, you know, that's a part of the cost of the book, and I'm always worried that that they're going to be like, well, I'm buying the extra pages for a book I'm also probably going to get later, so I'm paying twice for one book. But that's actually, I just realized that's not really true, because when you print comics, you get charged up to a certain, like, you know, if you do 27 pages, they charge you for like 32, because that's how they print. So you should just take advantage of those pages. So, yeah. Okay, Nim votes yes. Okay, February 12th. Guys, let's remember that. I want to make sure we're all there to wish her a happy birthday in February. Yeah, maybe a page or two a preview just to be a tease. Yeah, yeah, I think I would do something like up until there's a double page spread from book 2 that I think I've shown you guys where Black Marrow throws the guy on the back of the horse and they ride off for the train, and it's like when the title appears, and it's within the first 3 or 4 pages. It's pretty early on, maybe 5 pages. So I think I might include that. I think that might be good. Guys, should we do a special stream for Nim's birthday in February? I think we should. then we're definitely going to do it. Okay, guys, we're definitely going to do Nim's birthday. Don't let me forget. I'm going to try to set my own alarms, but I'm also going to try to count on you guys to make sure that we don't let that slip. Because Nim is, she's very important to all of us. Not to get too mushy on you. Oh, and I didn't even tell you guys. I didn't even tell you the final part of the announcement is that because because Knights of Camelot is going to be a shorter form release that I'm going to try out. That opens a door to work on more things because I'm pretty fast. I draw a lot and I draw pretty quick, which means I can probably do a couple of books at once if they're starting to pay for themselves a little more over time. And so, Knights of Camelot coming very soon. Black Marrow Book 2, probably a couple of months after that. And then Pantheon, which I think will be the name. But remember the poster I did of all those golden Silver Age superheroes? That big splash that I did? That I just like dropped it on social media just to see what would happen, because none of those are known characters. They're all kind of like references to known characters in their like iconography. And it got a way bigger reaction than other things I'd done recently. So I was like, oh, good, because I have a script for that, and I've been aching to draw that too. So I might try to get a 30-page book out for Pantheon, because I've been sitting on that for a couple of years, and I'm really excited about that story too. And between those 3 books, Black Marrow, Knights of Camelot, and Pantheon, that'll keep me busy for the rest of my life, I guess. But if they're successful, yeah, I'll try to do a few of them each year for each book, you know. And if they're good enough, God, maybe I can even do this full time and not have to do freelance anymore. Wouldn't that be amazing? We'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but with this new model, I can actually do that. This new release model gives me an opportunity to do. Sorry. That right there is my friend who's an editor. We're texting back and forth about ideas for the new Black Marrow Comics logo and stuff. He's the graphic designer. He's also the one helping me edit the video. He's an Emmy winner. He's an Emmy Award win twice. He won an Emmy for his work in design, and he works for TV doing like graphic design and video stuff. So. And he happens to be one of my best friends of many, many years, who I just like watched him become this incredibly successful video editor. And I'm paying him as what I can for this gig, but it's probably peanuts compared to what he deserves for his work. But the thing I keep thinking is like, yeah, but if he does this and I can keep advertising him to other people, like I want him to get more work in this field, because he likes this a lot. He probably prefers this to TV, which is where he does most of his work. He likes comics and he likes science fiction and fantasy. He's you know, he's an artist for sure. He's a great one. He's also just like one of my best friends. I've actually had him on the stream before. You guys have met him. Adam, him and my friend Nick have sometimes jumped on, and we've done streams where we've all chatted and stuff. So we're both psyched about that. He's really excited about Pantheon. Like, he's so excited. Because he's known me probably the longest, almost the longest of anybody. And he was there when I was like working on the Pantheon book. like that superhero stuff. We were working on that together for a bit. You know, he was like kind of co-writing with me. He had never really written before, so we were trying it out. It's cute. It was a cute time. Anyways, I'll stop talking so much about all this stuff. You get the idea. It's interesting how this happens sometimes. That I have, so the base colors on this page are super warm. They're like really red and orange because I'm trying to create this kind of like sense of, you know, high stakes, scary place, like a Mordor-like hellscape. It's the ruins of Camlann. In the original story of King Arthur, the Battle of Camlann is like a big open field. But I turned it into a place that was like the ruins of Camlann, that it used to be like the remnants of some ancient city, like maybe even before Rome or something, just adding some fantasy texture, some lore to it. And it gave me an opportunity to, the point of that was I wanted to add some architecture, some structure, because otherwise it's, you know, a big open field is like, there's definitely lots of parts of the story where I want to have big open spaces, but I really wanted that first battle to feel like it's happening in, like, you know, a cover from a fantasy novel from the 70s, which is like my favorite art ever, is like old school fantasy art, you know? So that's the vibe, and so I just got like adjusted the lore a little bit so that it would be like, it's like the ruins of Camlann. It's like a place where, you know, maybe the pagans used to live before Rome came to Europe or something, you know. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if that works for people. Oh, thanks, Broken Blade. Yes, this is the Skyrim soundtrack. I want to do more video game soundtracks with my streams because I'm a little, as much as I love the synthwave, it's like, I'm sure people are sick of that. I mean, we're working on some fantasy art here. We need some Skyrim, you know? Well, I'm glad, Nim, because my goal every day is to make at least one woman cry. It's not true. I lied. It's not a real thing. It's not my goal. The color scheme makes me think of fall when things die back and the final days of growth before the cold and the decay of winter. Suits the cycle theme. Yeah, no, that's a really interesting way to look at it because this is the end of a cycle. This is the end of the previous Arthurian cycle and the beginning of the new one. Comes right after. It's going to be an interesting start to a comic is to start with the end of his story and then not go back and show the life he had beforehand, but to say we're starting the story again and it's going to be slightly different this time. So it's like a weird, you know. Conan the Barbarian is a great soundtrack, BB. I cannot though because YouTube will copyright strike you for film soundtracks, but not game soundtracks because there's so many like streamers who do video games. You get what I'm saying? So they don't really copyright strike for video games because then they would be preventing people from advertising their video game by streaming it live when they play it. So video game soundtracks are kind of like fair game, really. I've even used them sometimes in videos that have been like uploaded on Instagram. Not on here. I haven't tried that yet, but I bet you could get away with it because I bet you that they're like they don't really copyright strike gaming soundtracks that much, not as much. But with film soundtracks, oh buddy, they will get you. Although that Pantheon poster the video I uploaded, it's like a minute long and it's got that big epic music. That's from a movie. That's from Dark City. But I didn't get copyright struck for that for some reason. I think because it's like that soundtrack has already been uploaded multiple times by different small channels, and I guess they just don't care about that particular piece of music or that movie soundtrack, which I thought was odd because that's a really incredible soundtrack. Sorry, I'm going to mute my phone. Forgive me. Dark City is an amazing movie, it's true. Right now I'm drawing like a sky beam coming from Excalibur to signify that Arthur finally is reunited with his knights, and Merlin is watching from the mountaintop, seeing that the sword is mended, the king is ready. And then we're going to have some great cameos, not even cameos, we're going to have the final knight is going to be introduced. The only one who has not appeared yet in this opening. Actually, no, there's a couple, but the main one who has not yet appeared in this opening section. And those of you who know the story, who've seen the Excalibur Borman film, you know who shows up at the last minute, and he's coming up at the very end of the issue. So, he's following the light of Excalibur essentially. What do you mean if the artist uploads it, not their record? I'm interested in what you mean. Oh, like not off of the YouTube site, but I don't know. Because the Dracula video of us watching Dracula, that was uploaded just independently, and I didn't even have a full soundtrack there. It was even obscured, and it still just got smashed. Hey, what's up, Sean? I agree. The 1981 Excalibur is the best King Arthur film. Like, hands down, nothing even comes close. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Nim. That it is complicated. But luckily, with the videos I've wanted to edit, it's not going to be too much an issue because I use Motion Array, which is a website that has tons of copyright-free music, like so much. And I pay like a monthly fee, and I share that with my brother because he also does video editing and he's an artist too. So like we just share that account, and it's like anything you want, sound effects, music. Yeah, it's awesome. So I've been pulling from that. I'll probably end up using some of that for this, even though what I really want to do for the trailer for King Arthur, I want to use like heavy metal rock music, and like I wanted to use like Sabaton, like one of their songs in particular. The Last Stand is like the perfect song for this. So I'm going to use that for an Instagram trailer because they don't copyright strike you because you're not monetized necessarily. But for YouTube, yeah, I can't unless I get permission from Sabaton. Somebody get me Sabaton on the phone. Honestly, Sabaton, like a dream would be to have them do a whole album on each of the nights because they would kill that. But I'm not important enough to make that happen. I would need to be very famous first. We'll see. Maybe in 10 years, assuming they're all still, they don't break up like the Beatles. Blood for Blood by Powerwolf? No, actually. I don't know much about Powerwolf, but I've been told I would like them. I'll definitely check that out. Because I've been getting more into, like... Some metal music is actually a lot of fun. I didn't used to know or care about metal, and now I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, heavy metal is awesome. The right band, I don't like all of it, but Sabaton I really liked, and then I discovered this other group, I forgot their name, sorry. I was going to give them a shout out, but I forgot. I was just trying out some different stuff, that's all. Oh, buddy, is this page done? It might be. Might be done, y'all. It's funny, I spent an hour and a half just doing colors, inks and colors for this one panel. For me, that's a lot of time because I'm used to really working quickly, and that just shows you the level of like dedication's a cheesy word, I guess, for it, but like really like the amount of focus and like diligence you need sometimes. It's like this is one panel that people are going to look at for like a second, but I really want the idea of Excalibur to really land for people when that light goes on, you know. Plus it's meant to be an art book. It's meant to be, you know, the only thing I was thinking to add maybe is maybe some characters, some figures in the foreground, like more enemies around here framing the image, but I don't know if I want to really obstruct Arthur. Also, it's like maybe the image is busy enough, I'm not sure. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know, Nim, that you listen to operatic metal. That's really cool. You should definitely... So, Nim, if you have music recommendations, share it either in the inspiration or the recommendations folder on the Discord, please, because I would love more music recommendations of just like stuff people can listen to while they draw. That's like my bread and butter as far as recommendations and, you know, stuff go. Is like just show me everything you like. I'm also a lot like I agree with you, BB. I'm really into 80s music as well. That's like, I love it. I love like 80s pop music. Like I love 80s love ballads. Yeah, please, BB, drop your stuff in too. I'm glad you like it. The art for King Arthur, because the colors are very different than Black Marrow. It's like a much warmer palette, at least in this opening. Not quite as rigidly gothic as parts of Black Marrow 1 were, because the Black Marrow, color palette is more cold. You know, understandably, it needs to be to communicate certain things. But hey, what's up, Anwen? Am I saying your name right? Anwen? How are you, man? Or woman? Or they? Welcome. I know, isn't the Skyrim soundtrack so good? I find it weirdly soothing, too. It's got a nice coziness to it. Makes me think of, like, watching Lord of the Rings as a kid. Oh, Anwen says, looks cool, goodbye. Okay, cool. Thanks for dropping in. That was nice of you to say. Have a good night. I'm also really into, like, I really like oldies. Like, I like music you would hear in like a black and white movie. So there's a YouTube channel I strongly recommend to everybody called Nemo's Dreamscapes. He's very popular. He's an illustrator. He paints his own images or like collages them. And it's an ambient YouTube channel. So it's just him playing oldies from the 30s all the way to the 50s. from that decade or those decades with illustrations that are meant to be really nostalgic, and it's like just ambient music, and it's really cozy and relaxing. And I listened to it a lot when I was working on Pantheon, because what you guys are going to see when that comes out early 2026, it's a very like 1950s nostalgia type of like, old school superhero golden age stuff. It's like I'm really leaning hard into the cozy nostalgia for that. I'm excited about that one too. So that's going to be 2026, probably mid 2026, right after I get Black Mirror 2 out. I'm so excited. You guys, you have no idea. I've been working. I'm sorry I'm talking about it so much, but you understand, I've been working for the past year like non-stop. You've seen some of it, but even when I'm not on stream, I am constantly working and like on these books to try to make them as pretty as possible and just the highest quality that I can possibly do within my power. And I've been doing freelance work at the same time. My wife can tell you I am like, I don't think I'm burnt out because I feel pretty healthy and I try to take care of myself, but I am like mentally, I've just been so focused on getting as much done as possible. And now that I realize I'm at a point where I can start releasing this stuff, I can't tell you how excited I am. And all these doors that are going to open up of like how many books I can come out with, and hopefully they'll pay for themselves. They'll pay for the work that they've been demanding of me. And I'm really proud of the work. I'm like really happy with my artwork and with the scripts that I've written. There were people that read Black Mirror 1 that said they liked the writing a lot and that they were surprised by that, because they thought it was more of an art showcase. And I was like, good, thank you. I'm so glad, because like I take a lot of pride in my writing, and I try to work on the scripts for a long time. And so now sitting here being like, I can start releasing this stuff and I can, yeah, no, I think it's going to be a good 6 months coming up. Yeah. Thanks, Nim. Thanks, Lone Wolf. You're excited for me too. I appreciate it. Sorry, I feel like I'm like a little kid who's like too excited to go to sleep because he knows Santa's coming. Yeah, I think this page might be done. I was going to add some stuff in the foreground. I might revisit it later, but for right now, I'm happy with it. And I want to show it to my friend who's been talking this out with me. I want him to see what the work looks like. Hold up. So right now I've changed it from an RGB to a CMYK so that it's ready for print, and I'm playing with the saturation because the colors always change a little bit when you go to CMYK, as many of you know, and I'm trying to see how much I really want to change or keep the same. So that's what it was before. Here. That's what it was before, and I guess I messed it up. Here, I'm going to create 2 of them, and I'm going to do that same thing. Hold on, I want you guys to give me some input. Actually, you probably can't even see the color differences so well because of where you're at. Like, it's past 2 different screens. I don't know, it might be really hard to tell. You know what I'll do? I'll drop it in the Discord and I'll have you guys tell me which one looks better to you. Here, I just sent it to the Discord, you guys. You can tell me which one you like more. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with this. This is a double page spread, so this is where I get so excited when I'm working on this stuff, is like seeing how it's going to look in print. When this is a double page spread, so right now it's going to be much bigger than it is on this iPad, and I've learned from experience that when it's like printed, it looks awesome, because it's bigger and all the detail, the granular detail starts to come out in a way that you can't always tell when you see it on a stream like this, Oh, thanks, guys. I think it'll be worth it. I hope so. So I gotta black out my screen one more time. So much NDAing. I think that's the last of it. The last of those I have to do. Let me just upload it to my Dropbox. Well, at 90 minutes, I think we can call it a night. I love you guys. Thanks so much. This was great. This was a great stream. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking. You have a good night, all right? I didn't realize how long I've been going. I was like, I should just stop. Get some rest. Those of you who are not yet at dinner time, have a good dinner. Those of you who should be in bed, go to sleep. What's wrong with you? Okay, love you. Bye.